keeping you up to date and informed on all the latest and greatest news in the world of recovery. Welcome to this edition of Just for Today News with your hosts, Carrie M., Helga P., and Mike W. And now, Just for Today.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in. In today's recovery news, the Center for Disease Control released a report stating that 46 people die from an overdose of prescription painkillers each day in the U.S.
As you know, Carrie, opiate usage has skyrocketed over the last several years. The National Institute of Health is now calling this an epidemic.
That's right, Helga. As the number of people using opiate painkillers for the treatment of pain increases, so do the number of deaths stemming from the usage of those painkillers. Opioid painkillers now cause more deaths each year than cocaine and heroin combined.
I'm here at City Detox with Dr. Woolsey to discuss opiate addiction. Dr. Woolsey, have you seen a large increase in people detoxing from opiates?
Oh yes, Steve, most definitely. 10 years ago, we would get the occasional heroin addict, but now we regularly get people trying to detox from all forms of opiates, with opiate painkillers being the majority of these cases. Well, Steve, opiate addiction has two aspects, the physical addiction and the psychological addiction. A person gets physically addicted to the drug, and then it's very hard to go through withdrawal. Once a person does withdraw, the psychological addiction often draws them back in and gets them hooked all over again. The reason we become addicted to opiates is because whenever we introduce opiates into our body, the brain scales back on its own production in order to compensate. In essence, your body says, hey, if you're going to supply your own opiates, I guess I don't have to anymore. This period in between when you stop using your drug and when your body gets back to producing natural opioids at a normal rate is known as the withdrawal period. You may have heard it called being dope sick.
I'm visiting with Jennifer, a young lady who is 29 years old and addicted to heroin. Hello, Jennifer. How are you today?
Not too good, Carrie. I did the last of my heroin last night and I'm feeling dope sick.
Thank you for agreeing to this interview, knowing how bad you feel physically right now. Can you tell our viewers how you got addicted?
Well, I didn't intend to become a heroin addict, that's for sure. Up until this happened to me, I never even did drugs or partied as a kid. I was even on the honor roll and beginning to look at colleges.
What happened?
Well, I was in a car accident and hurt my back. After the surgery, my doctor prescribed me some pain pills. I really needed them since I was hurting pretty bad. It was like I couldn't stop thinking about how to get more, and I didn't feel right. It's kind of like being really hungry or really thirsty. You just have this intense desire that doesn't go away.
So you turned to heroin?
Not right away. I started getting some pain pills from friends and family.
So now what?
I need to go find some money. My habit has pretty much become a full-time job. Every day is about finding enough money to buy my dope. This really sucks.
Have you thought about getting clean?
I plan to, but it's hard. I don't want to go through withdrawals. It's just horrible. Someday, though.
Thank you, Jennifer. I wish you luck.
I'm here with Larry D., a substance abuse counselor at City Rehab. Larry, just how effective is treatment anyway?
I'm glad you asked that, Tammy. There are a lot of myths and urban legends out there about the effectiveness of treatment. The truth is that treatment is very effective. The National Institute on Drug Abuse reports that there is a 40% to 60% success rate for all types of treatment programs combined. Well, there are basically two types of treatment available for opiate addiction: medical treatment and non-medical treatment. Methadone is an opiate replacement treatment. The addicted person receives their methadone at a licensed methadone clinic. While methadone is also an opiate, people who use methadone maintenance correctly are able to function well in society and lead somewhat normal lives. Buprenorphine is another drug which, like methadone, replaces illegal opiates. Unlike methadone, buprenorphine has no euphoric effects whatsoever. Now, buprenorphine is usually combined with an opiate blocker called naloxone. This combination of drugs is called Suboxone. Naltrexone, also called Vivitrol, is an opiate blocker used by people who are already clean. Because naltrexone blocks the pleasurable effects of street opiates, it removes the incentive to use them. Well, the first component of non-medical treatment would be to go through detox and get past the acute withdrawal phase. But you would eventually be completely clean and sober and off opiates altogether. Then, many opiate addicts go through residential treatment.
What does the recovering addict do in treatment?
Well, several things, really. In treatment, the recovering addict gets a chance to begin addressing issues from their past, like old emotional pain and hurts. And the addict begins learning skills for coping with life clean and sober. Now, if there are any co-occurring emotional disorders like depression or anxiety, the person in treatment begins addressing these as well.
Happy birthday, Emily. Congratulations on your awesome achievement.
Thank you, Helga. I'm really just grateful to have my life back.
How did you do it?
It's been quite a process, Helga. First, I went to detox, which was pretty tough. Then I spent 28 days in a drug treatment center. When I graduated, I started going to a 12-step program. That's where I found a really awesome sponsor and began working the 12 steps.
5 years ago, you were an addict. What does your life look like now?
I really couldn't be happier. I have my children back, which is super important to me. And I've started going to college so that I can work with developmentally challenged children. I think the best thing is that I feel good about myself now instead of so ashamed. My mom and sister are really proud of me too. I guess you could say I'm just really happy right now.
Thank you, Emily. You should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you. That's really nice of you.
What an incredible story. While opiate addiction can be a real nightmare for the addicted person and their loved ones, it's important to remember that hundreds of thousands of people, just like Emily J., have recovered from addiction and now lead happy and fulfilling lives for themselves. Thank you for joining us. Until next week, this is
Just for Today.